Hey guys, what's up? This is Sean Ogle of Location 180. We're here on location in Seminyak, Bali. We're at the villa that I've been staying in for the past month or so. And I've been receiving a lot of questions from you guys about my travel, my business, all sorts of things. And I want to address one of those questions that I've been experiencing the most. And that is, what type of video equipment did I bring with me and am I using for these video blogs? I actually brought 4 separate cameras with me on this trip that all serve a variety of purposes. I'm going to tell you about each of those, but more importantly, I'm going to give you the rundown for how to create a professional video setup for $1,000 or less. And keep a couple things in mind. First off, I did not go to film school. I'm still learning how to do all this. So while I've got some great tools, I don't always necessarily know how to put them to good use and actually make something that looks professional. So, keep in mind, it's not like these things are going to help you overnight. They're just going to make it a lot easier for you to be able to create something that's pretty spectacular. So anyway, I'm going to tell you a little bit about that. I'm going to tell you about the tools I use, and we're going to go from there. So, first off, like I said, I brought 4 cameras, and I'm holding 2 of them right here. These things have been 2 of the best investments that I have had for this trip. These are 2 Kodak Playsport Zx5s. So I get asked about these more than any other camera I've got. Essentially, they're waterproof, shockproof flip cams of sorts. So these can go into 10 feet of water. They can be dropped from 5 feet. All good. I've got a couple 16 gig cards in here, so it can shoot, a couple hours of full HD video. And these things are so much fun. You might be wondering, it's like, why would I bring 2 of them? It's because if I'm hanging out at a pool party, if we're going to the water park or something, then, you want 2 shots. You want, to hand one off to a friend and you want to see what you can do. And so, I take these and we've done a lot of cool stuff. I'll link to the pool party video. You can kind of see some of the different things. And these have just really, really, really been a lot of fun. So I probably use these for maybe 25% of my shooting. The sound on them isn't that great. We'll talk a little bit more about sound later on. But, for what you're trying to do, if you're trying to get some underwater video shots, if you're going down a water slide, trying to do stuff like that, there's nothing better than these. So they're about $150 a piece. So in our $1,000 video setup, you really probably only need 1. I've got 2 of them, but for about $150, you can pick one of these up, and it's really going to give you a lot of flexibility and make things a lot of fun. So next up, I've got a Canon Elph 500 HS. So a lot of you guys might be wondering, it's like, why would you want to use a point and shoot for your main video camera? Well, this is one of Canon's top of the line point and shoots. It's, mid to top line. It's about $280, and I will tell you, the video quality on this is absolutely phenomenal. So I've got, another camera that I'm going to tell you about in a little bit, which is a much more dedicated camcorder, but the Canon HF200 is spectacular. So that's this camera right here. So for those of you that want to see the difference in video quality, you can see me talking to the 500 right now, and right now we're back to my other primary camera. So this thing's really cool. You can take it anywhere. It's small. It's completely touchscreen, which is kind of a pain. So if you've never used a touchscreen camera before, it's definitely takes some getting used to, but I finally come around to the idea, and I think that, it's definitely a little bit more usable. And there's, a bunch of cool features like super slow motion mode and, full control over aperture and shutter speed, some things like that that not all point and shoots have. So that is what I use for 75% of my photos. It's got a really wide angle lens. It's also fantastic at low light. It's got an f2.0 lens, so it's very fast, much faster than a lot of point and shoots, and really allows you to do some creative things. So that's, like I said, that's probably 75% of the shooting that I do.
So I've told you about my Kodak Playsports. I've told you about my Canon Elph point and shoot. There is one more major camera that I use that's part of my repertoire. And so, we've already spent $150 on the Playsport. We spent $280 on the other Canon. So we still have quite a ways left in our video arsenal. So I've got a Canon HF200. This is actually a dedicated Canon camcorder. Shoots in HD. Originally this thing was about $900, and I got it off Craigslist a few months ago. It was about $300, and this thing has been great for things like sit-down interviews. If you're trying to do more with, aperture, you really need control over your video settings. This is going to be the best way to go. And this camera's actually a couple years old. You can get one, the video quality on my Canon L500 is actually quite a bit better than the video quality on this. And you guys might be able to see that shine through on YouTube, I'm not sure. But if you compare them side to side, this one's definitely a couple years behind the curve. But that said, it's fantastic video, and it's got something that is very, very important if you're serious about doing professional quality videos. It has an external mic input. So if you can see, I've actually got a microphone right here. This thing was an Audio Technica lavalier mic. It cost about $23 on Amazon. And it is the best investment you can make when it comes to increasing the production value of your videos. Because with point and shoot, you know, I end up having lots of wind noise, and you know, you hear a lot of background noise. This straight up right here, you know, it blocks out a lot of the background noise. Much higher quality. It's got a 20-foot cord on it, so you can really be kind of flexible with it. And it's truly a very good investment. So I would definitely recommend that enough. But you have to have a camera that's got an external mic input. So that's generally, you know, since the video quality is better on my point and shoot, I usually use this for the sound. And so I'm actually using this camera for the primary interview right now. But you know, the sound quality is going to be 10 times better if you use an external mic. So that cost me $300 on Craigslist. So $300, $280, that's $580 plus the Canon. It's about $730, $750. So, you know, you can kind of take your pick. You know, those are three very versatile cameras. You know, this is kind of a bigger, bulkier one. The Canon point and shoot, you know, you can take it anywhere. And the video and sound quality on the waterproof ones is definitely lacking in comparison to the other two. So, but it gives you a lot more flexibility to take it with you. You know, you can throw it and it's not going to hurt anything. Hopefully that didn't hurt anything. But, you know, you kind of get the idea. So one more thing in your repertoire that is going to make everything worthwhile is Final Cut Pro. If you guys have a Mac, and again, I'm making the assumption you've already got a laptop, but Final Cut Pro, it's $300, and it will allow you to do anything with video you want to do. Extremely simple, extremely easy, very intuitive. If you guys have used iMovie before, you're going to have no trouble getting used to Final Cut Pro. It allows you to sync clips. So right now we've got two cameras on me. All I have to do is hit synchronize clip, and I can very easily switch back and forth between the two of them. So I'm talking to you over here now, very easily in editing, I can just move over and talk to you now. I can do that with as many cameras as I want. So I don't actually have one of the Playsports on me right now, just doing two cameras, but you get the idea. And so the $300 spent on Final Cut Pro is without a doubt a very worthwhile investment, and that's what's going to allow you to do a lot of the cool After Effects, titles, captions, stuff like that. If you don't have the money for Final Cut Pro, iMovie is a fantastic way to get started. I can't recommend that highly enough, so definitely look into that. But essentially, you know, that's my video setup. Those are the cameras I use. I kind of gave you some reasons for why I think they're worthwhile. You'll see some of the clips, you know, you've seen some of what it can shoot, some of the things I've done with it. You'll continue to see that over the coming weeks as I go on my adventures here in Bali. But if you have any more questions about, you know, video editing, I know I'm not the best person to ask, but I've definitely learned at least a thing or two over the last couple weeks of doing this. So hope that helped you out, hope that was interesting, and we'll talk to you soon.